What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Jesus Coin today. Yet again, just doing a quick little update because it does look more and more realistic now that these prices are probably going to drop. Man, shout out to Will. He nailed this one, man. He got me good. shout out to Will. Willie, you're the man. Bottom to top here, he knows who he is. Probably going lower, man. Probably going lower. Your 618 is all the way down here, right? Your 0.5 is a little bit above that. And if we look at this on a daily basis, we take away the fibs so that it's less noise. Right there, that 0.5 comes in right at a previous area of support, right at a previous area of resistance. It would make sense to me to hold support there. But with things like this, it's very common to revert back to your 618, which is why I have the 618 drawn. From the all-time high to the 0.5, that's only an 87% drop. It's also very common with things like this to at least see a 90% drop whenever you're seeing more serious consolidation phases, like I think that we're in now, really. Someone was asking how long do I think Jesus Coin could consolidate for. And I would say months, man, multiple months. We're not even really in it. I like to go over it like this. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, because we don't have a lot of data to go off of. But being that I think Bitcoin itself will be moving down for the next month or so, this was 17 weeks from top. Actually, the bottom wasn't. It was 18 weeks. I remember that's actually the low was this week. So 18 weeks from top to the current week. We're only at 9 weeks. We're about halfway done with that. So to put that in perspective, okay. Go to 9 weeks there. From the lowest price to where the low was, that was still another 63% drop. 63% drop, right? From top to bottom, you dropped 94%. You really didn't start, look at this, right? Basically from here, from where you were until right here on this week, that was like the most of your dropping. Then you started to move, you still moved down consistently week after week, more or less, but it was a lot slower. This half was a lot slower than this half. You can see it, right? I hope you can see it. And why? It's because you hit the 90% threshold, where beforehand you had not. It wasn't until this week that you hit that 90% threshold. And then inevitably you dropped down 94.72. If we were to see a 94.72% retracement, which I very much doubt it'll be the exact same as last time, but that could take this thing all the way down, below these lows here. That's lower than anything that I've called for, which is 7030. I do expect at least a 90% retracement, and that would take us to 7056. I have hopes that we could hold support around the 7077 area. I really do. I know, man. I'm throwing all these numbers at you. I'm sure some people don't appreciate it, but maybe we hold an 87% drop. But the way I look at it, man, I really don't think this drop will be over until from top to low we see an overall deficit of 90% or more. But I could be wrong. Let's look at some positives. Okay, first, before we do that, not good. Getting into your oversold zone, some of the weakest RSI that we've seen since September of last year. And we're finally starting to drop off, right? This is one of the bigger days dropping off that we've had really since this day here. And it's happening as we're getting weaker. So I really do think we're going to blow past this. And at that point, once we take out that low, it's more or less undisputable that we're going to go lower. Looking at this fib for what it is, low to high. I mean, you didn't really find support on your 618 at all. You just kind of grinded it and then moved down, which would make me think the 1272 to the 1618 is very possible. Now, being that this is a smaller fib extension, fib range, whoa, you could see deeper extensions, which would be all the way down here at the 1886, which would be all the way down here at the 2272, lining up with the previous areas of support and around the 618 on an overall scale. So you absolutely could see those levels, very, very realistic possibilities. But on the good news, the part that I was going to say that's good news, is if we go to holders here, you can see that we are at 6.7 now. I think in my last video yesterday it was at 6.4. Maybe it was at 6.2. I forget. At some point yesterday it was at 6.2, but we added 500 billion people who have sold. And where did they sell? Because it's been in the last day. Where have they sold in the last day? Well, they did not. They didn't sell it at a profit-taking area. They panic sold, man. So we're shaking out the weak hands. That's good. I know there's a lot of you that plan on buying at lower prices. And really, what I'd like to see is I'd like to see this get to like 1%, maybe even like multiple percentages. So that gives the exchanges a chance to buy, because you're not going to see the exchanges list this thing unless they have, at least any significant exchanges list this thing unless they have a sizable portion that they can allocate to their clientele, right? If there's one exchange looking at this, maybe 0.86% is enough. If there's 2 or 3 exchanges or 4 exchanges looking, they're going to have to divide that, and obviously probably not all of that's going to go directly to the exchanges itself. They're not going to buy all the free-floating Jesus coins, and I know that there is more than that than just on Uniswap there, but that's probably a good metric in my opinion, probably a really good metric, the biggest probably liquidity pool that there is for this thing. What am I trying to say here? I'm just saying, as this number gets bigger, that's good, in my opinion, right? That just means that the weak hands are getting out. As one of my friends pointed to yesterday or the day before, Mr. Hat, you were the one that pointed this out. Just because people capitulate doesn't mean that the price has to go up, and you're absolutely right. But I responded, in kind, like this. This is what you're doing. This is what I want you to do. Don't harsh my Jesus, man. No, you're right. You're right. Just because people capitulate, just because people get out, does not mean that that's a good thing. But I do personally believe that this thing has more in it. I think that it will grow higher. So I personally do believe that shaking out the weak hands is a good thing. But the coins that just go to zero inevitably, right? They death spiral downwards forever. Coins like that would also have this wallet grow in size too. So, I hear your point, and I guess time really is all it'll take to prove either of us right or wrong, but maybe it'll just move sideways. Maybe neither of us are right, but probably not. Probably not. It's probably going to move lower. I think as the days go on, guys, it's getting more convincing. The last dagger in the heart really would be getting below this low, and there's a few reasons for that. But for one, lower low, after forming a high, lower high, forming a low, lower low, and a lower low, we'd be in a very established downtrend with 1, 2, 3 ticks, 1, 2, 3 ticks. We'd be in a predominantly established downtrend. I say predominantly. I don't know if that's the correct use of the word, actually. Definite is what I should have said. But the main reason is, on a fib scale, when you see this expected zone, the 1618 to the 1272, getting rejected, and you tip the 886, this is classic, man. It's classic, and very, very rarely, man. Like, I think this is the first time in my channel's history that we've seen this setup and you did not get deeper extensions. That's why I was so excited about it, man, because this really doesn't happen often. I've seen it happen before, but I don't think I've talked about anything on this channel where this has gotten a bounce just like that off the 886 after rejecting the common areas of extension, and it didn't continue upwards. Like, it's very uncommon to happen. And whenever you get things that are supposed to be bullish and they happen to be not bullish and it flips around, that's not a good thing. Those uncommon things are not. It's like it's a one-off. Okay, maybe it doesn't matter that much. No, man, it matters a lot. Just because it's a one-off doesn't mean it doesn't have significance. If anything, it's more bearish in my opinion because of all the bullish. It's almost like a fake out to the bullish effect, if that makes sense. We haven't done it yet, but if and when we get below this low, if and when we get below the 886, the next minimum target that we would see would be the 786, and I very much do think we're going lower than that. And look at that, man. Look at that 618. It's very common whenever you see these extensions to hit the 886, and if you don't, the 786 and the 618 are your next targets. And do you guys remember this 7057 area? You remember what's significant about that? That's your 90% threshold right there on your first all-time, nope, that's not it, first all-time high to relative period low here, right? That's a pretty significant area. So we might be working our way all the way down there. I'm really curious to see how many people sell their coins by then. And I know I've had a few of you, I'm going to end it with this, I know I've had a few of you who have been saying, so if I'm hearing you right, I should sell now and then buy back lower. No, you're hearing me wrong, man, because if that's what I thought everybody should be doing, and not that that matters because I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. But if that's what I thought people should be doing, then I would be doing that myself. Like I haven't sold a single bit. My last purchase was all the way up here, but man, I didn't just buy the top and now I'm sitting on it, right? I bought, to put it in perspective again, right? I bought down here. I bought down here. I bought more down here. I bought down here, and then I even bought down here, and then I bought up here. And that was my last purchase. And unfortunately, that's down. And unfortunately, this one's down. But all these other ones are still up. And, all in all, I'm still in the green with Jesus coins. So I'm not just holding on for blind faith right here, right? Like I do have faith that this thing will come up again, but it's not in me. It's not in my style as far as like risk tolerance goes, risk management goes, to play the game whenever you're at a deficit on something that you expect to go. And I'm not in a deficit, but whenever you're at a deficit from like where you were to where you could be, for the sake of adding a little bit more cash to the pile, I would rather not sell, not worry about it, go to sleep for a few months, wait until like the middle of the year, end of the year, and then be rewarded, right? This whole period right now, it might seem very dramatic. It might feel like you have to make a move right now. But if you just wait 6 months, you're going to forget all about it. You're going to be like, wow, that wasn't bad at all. It feels bad right now. You're living it, right? You're living it, right? It's like the Band-Aids being slowly peeled off. And that's painful. It's excruciating, or maybe it's not excruciating, but it's annoying, right? Your focus is right on it. But once that Band-Aid's off, once it starts to heal, once it's fully recovered, you're going to forget what even caused the injury in the first place, man. You're going to forget you might not forget how it felt, but you're not going to worry about it. You're going to be like, so what? It wasn't a big deal. Because it's really not a big deal. Unless you're putting your life savings in something like this, which I don't recommend. Nobody should be putting their life savings in this. Not financial advice, though it should be. You should never put your life savings in just one asset. And if you do, I'm going to talk to you people right now, you true degens out there. If you're one of those people, I'm not going to call you silly. Maybe I'll call you devoted, dedicated, in love with the coin, with the cause. If you're one of those people who your whole life savings is in this coin, please, for the love of Jesus himself, make sure it's not all in one place, okay? Carlos, if you're watching this, I'm going to use you as an example. I haven't talked about him in a while, but Carlos, I forget his last name, but he shared his testimony on George's Testimonial Tuesday like months ago. And he got hacked. He got hacked, man, like through a very unfortunate series of events, and he had all of his coins on one wallet. For a point of failure, for a point of flaw, for somebody who wants to exploit any kind of weakness, having one place to attack is a lot easier to focus on than having several places to go to. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to get at is take your coins, if they're all in one place, if it's not your life savings, okay, if it's like an amount of money that's not necessarily significant to you, or maybe it's significant but it's not going to make or break you if it goes to zero, do what you want. Leave it. I've got all my coins in one wallet. I don't have it dispersed out between multiple ones. I don't have all my coins, but all my Jesus coins, because it's a small percentage of my overall portfolio. It's actually grown a little bit, but to be completely fair, but I'm getting off task here. What I'm trying to say is, if I had my life savings in Jesus coin, I would not have it all in one wallet. If it was money that mattered that much, which first off, I would never do, nor would I recommend that for anybody, but I'm not a financial advisor, so who cares? Though that should be financial advice, because no matter what you're believing in, you shouldn't put all your money in one thing. But put it through multiple wallets. Have it stored across multiple wallets. Have it on Uniswap. Have it on Coinbase wallet. Have it on like a cold storage wallet if you can, or like some kind of I don't know what kind of means you'd have to go through to get it across multiple platforms or wallets. But take those measures and do that, because you don't want one single point of failure, man. You really don't. And I don't know. It's unfortunate. It makes things things like that are easier for hackers to exploit, is the main reason for that, right? I own, like, the heaviest bag that I have right now is Bitcoin Cash, and I have that spread across 4 different accounts, okay? And that in my opinion isn't even diversified enough. I'd like to get it to 6, but that's not even all my life savings. It's my heaviest bag, and I have it split across 4 accounts. If Jesus is your heaviest bag, if it's got your life savings in it, maybe don't have it all in one wallet, okay? You never know when there's some kind of error that happens with the servers, with whatever. It shuts down, the traffic is too congested, you can't use it, there's glitches, blah, 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 whatever. Like, maybe you won't be able to get your full amount of money in or out if an issue happens on one exchange. But you have other exchanges to go through, other means, other accounts, other wallets to go through, where those will hopefully be fine, you know. And especially, like, heaven forbid you get hacked, you'd rather have just one of those places get hacked than all of them get hacked, man. But yeah, I don't know. That's just that, man. I'm getting off topic here. Main thing, I think it's going lower. Be smart about your money, guys. I don't think it's a good time to sell. When was a good time to sell? Very easy. It was up here. When was a good time to buy? Right here. Is it a good time to buy now? Sure. In comparison to there, sure. I think it's going to go lower. I think it's going to be a better time to buy down here. I'm going to personally wait to buy down there. Being that, you know, Jesus coin from its high right now to where its current price is, it's 74% of a deficit. Sure, it's relatively a good time to buy. But if you're like me and you have a solid bit of this stuff and you want to add more to it, you know, there's nothing wrong with being patient, because if you have a solid bit, if it goes up, boom, you make money. Who cares? It's okay. You could have made more money if you threw it into it, sure. But if it goes down, then the money that you want to put in right here could grow even more. Like, it, I don't know. I'm being patient. None of this is financial advice. I'm just telling you literally what I'm going to do. As I've been saying, like, even down here, I remember saying, like, I don't think we're going to get prices down here. I would like it to go down there because I'd be able to scoop up more, but I'd like it to go up just to see my bags be green. Looks like we're getting the first one. Looks like we're going to get prices below here, somewhere in this area. That's not drawn properly, but like a flat line or lower, you know, something like that. But this video has been all over the place. If it makes sense, hit that like button. If it doesn't make sense, hit that like button. And I will see you guys on the next one. Subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. Lower is where I think we're going, unfortunately, in the immediate term. And I say unfortunately, really fortunately, truly. 4-hour RSI looks weak, looks just sad. Daily RSI looks like it's getting there to the, like, strength to the downside. So we've yet to see, you know, I think we're going to see candles like this come in really soon. Maybe not this week, maybe this week, but over the next few weeks, probably going to see some lower price action. As far as when does it bottom, it could be sometime in February, it could be sometime in March. If it were to happen in April, that would kind of surprise me. But sometime in February, sometime in March, probably the middle of February to the middle of March is what I'm thinking. And I mean, that can change. I can be wrong about that, you know. Watch it dump down tomorrow, and that's the bottom. I don't know. But yeah. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you all for coming. Bye-bye.